Why do they treat us? Gotta be something deeper, deeper, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper, deep, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper, deeper. It's gotta be. They said oppression drives a wise man mad. There's only so much he can take. Oh, so just take a look around you. You'll see so much mental destruction. And no matter how hard I try, I run into a broken system. This life we live has been a lie. We've been taught polluted information. They tried to cut us from our heritage. The greatest people who had ever lived. Why do they treat us so bad? Why do they do things just to make us mad? Why do they treat us so bad? Why do they hate us so bad? It's gotta be something deeper, deeper, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper, deep, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper, deeper. It's gotta be. Have you ever wondered why they massacre our brothers? They cause us to hate one another, to make it hard to come together. It's never ever too late. We need to cry out. We need to be awakened from this strong delusion. We need to stop all this confusion and start a spiritual movement so we can turn back to our God. Why do they treat us so bad? Why do they do things just to make us mad? Why do they treat us so bad, so bad? Why do they hate us so bad? Why it's gotta be something deeper, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper. It's gotta be something deeper, deeper. It's gotta be something deeper. It's gotta be. Could it be the melon? Deeper. Could it be the stronger? Could it be our women? Deep. What could it be? Could it be our rhythm? Deeper. We got so much abilities and so many enemies. Deep. We've been through so many pains. Deeper. Somebody please tell me what's going on, 'cause we can even get some coffee, and we can even watch a movie. We can even buy groceries. Guilty walking, so they shoot us in the streets. We know that hate is really deep. We gotta be the chosen people. We've been through so much evil. Deep. I feel it in my soul. Just the mere sight of us brings fear. And all it really takes is to have a conversation about the truth, about who we really are, and accept it. Every chance I get, I will praise your name. And every breath I take, I will obey your word. Every step I take, I will put my faith in you. I will exalt your name. With every chance I get, my mouth is filled with your grace and with your honor. All throughout the day, I will seek you and be glad in you. Still, I hope continually, yet I praise you more and more. Your righteousness, oh yeah, you do great things. Oh yeah, who is like you? My soul rejoices when I sing to you. Every chance I get, I will praise your name. And every breath I take, I will obey your word. Every step I make, I will put my faith in you. I will exalt your name. With every chance I get, it was your instruction that led me this way. Now that I see you face to face, with every breath that I breathe, I'll give it back to you in the form of my praise. Every chance I get, yeah. Almost high, almost high. You deserve all my praise. Almost high, almost high. Every chance that I get, I will praise your name. And every breath I take, I will obey your word. And every step I take, I will put my faith in you. I will exalt your name. With every chance I get, sometimes I take a moment to say love, oh. And when I think about your greatness, I say love, every chance I get, I will praise your name. And every breath I take, I will obey your word. And every step I take, I will put my faith in you. I will exalt your name. Oh, in every chance I get, I will praise your name. And every breath. Hey y'all, I need 1 second. I'm about to get started in a second. Bear with me, bear with me. One more song. Probably half a song. We're gonna make it happen. Shout out to Op Lorgans, L&L track. We will do All right, all right. On is now active. My bad. I just got some news in my email. You're all set to hit the road. What? Anyway, I get back to that in a second. All praise to the Most High. Yeah, you know it's 12 tribes, one nation. It's supposed to be anyway. I mean, there are 12 tribes, but they're not acting like one nation. We're trying to get them. We're trying to get them to do it. We're trying to get them to do it. But anyway, thanks to the Son Yahushua HaMashiach, the Lamb, the Atonement, King of Kings. Hey man, I was watching some videos, man, and I'm gonna share the videos with y'all. And it's like, I be paying attention to a lot of stuff, right? So the videos didn't surprise me really about the content of the videos. But what happened is that I thought about our people, right? Hopefully these heathens won't come pull up on me with the police. Anyway, I thought about our people. Not only, black Negro people as a whole, but really, uh black people Negro people who know who they are, as far as being the children of the Most High, the real Jews, the Yasharal or Yisrael, whatever you want to call it, man. It's so many names, so many doctrines, but I don't try not to trip off the names and the doctrines. Just try to live it how it's supposed to be lived. Take it how it's supposed to go, right? So I watched these videos and I wanted to bring them forth to y'all, and I wanted to talk about something I've been seeing with our people. There are those among us, right? First of all, to learn who we are as a people, and to learn our history, and to learn that our history has been covered up, that our history has been diluted and polluted, right? And that it's been a worldwide effort to remove us from our heritage and to hide us from our heritage, right? The world is in on it. Not just Caucasians in America, but Caucasians all over the world. Caucasians and brown people, and whatever, the Asiatic race. All nations have come together to make the true children of Israel, Yasharal, to be ignorant of the fact of who they are and ignorant of the fact of how they are to live, right? So when you wake up to who you are, you immediately learn that. You learn that the churches is in on it, the politicians is in on it, the schools is in on it, the news is in on it, the TV is in on, movies is in on it. Everybody is in on us being how we are and being ignorant of who we are. So that's one of the hardest parts about realizing that, is realizing how deep it is and how many people are in on it, right? So what confuses me is that People come into this knowledge, they come into this understanding of who they are and that everybody is in on it. And they still think and they still talk the talk of politics, Democrat, Republican. You know, they talk about voting. They talk about, getting education. They talk about living within this system. And it confuses me because it's like this same political system you want to be a part of is the same political system key in keeping you dormant. It's the same political system that's involved with your detriment. This educational system you want to be a part of is the same educational system that's key to these same things as the political system, that's key to the same things as the judicial system with police and with judges and with, high sentencing and high incarceration rates. Same system, same people is involved all the way around the board. And one of the things that we have to realize is that because when we say that the world's against black people, America's against black people, Europe's against black people, other black people say, no, because my people doing good. My mama, my daddy, they was, they was this, they was that. My uncle, my auntie, they was this, they was that. My great-greats and great-greats, they was this, they was that. I say this, man. White people are the smallest race on the planet. The smallest, what would you call them? The smallest ethnic tribe? Ethnic tribe? Is that what they would be called? Ethnic tribe? Like, you got the Negroid skeletal type, you got the Mongoloid skeletal type, you got the, Asiatic skeletal type or whatever. You got these different types that go to specific races of people. And the Caucasoid type is the smallest type in the world, but they control all the other colors, right? And how they control all the other colors is simple: divide and conquer. Through fear, through prosperity, they take those from among these nations and offer them power and influence in order to serve them and work with them. Or they scare them into working with them. Or they entrap them with perversion a lot of times. A lot of these people are involved in sexual perversion. Grown men who like little boys and little girls. Heterosexual men, married couples that sleep with members of the same sex outside of their marriage. And evidence gets taken and videotapes and receipts. And they take this stuff and they use it against people to make them do their will. So the small group ensnares bits and pieces of the larger groups to make those pieces decimate their own people, which is what we have. They call it quote unquote coons or quote unquote house Negroes, right? Sellouts, right? And we got to realize that as much as we love our people, black people, Negro people, much as we love our mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, cousins, aunties, uncles, as much as we love some of them, many of them have given themselves over for power and influence, or through fear, they have given themselves over to those that destroy us. They have chosen to serve them so they could get high position. They give themselves over through oaths, like J.F. Kennedy said, you know, secret societies, backroom deals, secret orders, secret handshakes. That's what people are giving themselves over to. Many of our people, many of the doctors and the lawyers and the politicians, they've given themselves over with, you know, and these are the people that are the leaders of our community, pastors, councilmen, you know, uh, 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 principals and leaders of industry. These are the people. Many of these people, most of these people, I'd even dare to say, if not all, most of these people are a part of this very system, are influential in the very system that keeps the most of us destroyed and keep the most of us at bay. But I want to show y'all this video, man. First of all, shout out to Larry Johnson, former running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Larry Johnson on Instagram. These videos are off Instagram. I follow him um on Instagram. Uh he's doing a great work. Um Many of these things that he's bringing out, um I'm aware of, but he does things in such a way and puts them together in such a way that is very powerful. And I would like to share this with you guys here. And I will talk about each video after they are played.
The city isn't what it used to be. It all happened so fast. Everything went to crap. It's like everyone's sense of morals just disappeared. The bad economy made things worse. The jobs started drying up. Then the stores had to shut down. Then a black man was elected president. He was supposed to change things. He didn't. There is an animal that lives by night, searches through trash cans and cleans out the garbage. To clean the trash can of society, I've chosen to become more than a man. I am the hero this town needs. I am the king.
And I'd like to thank our witnesses for being here today to talk about a subject that's bothering so many of us. We're so concerned about our communities and the hesitancy that is displayed daily. We know all the stories about why people are hesitant, why they're suspicious. We know the distrust because of the way we've been treated in the medical community with experiments and et cetera. We know all of that. And we're talking to people and warning them ad nauseum. We're saying you may die if you're infected. So now I'm really looking at incentives. I'm looking at what incentives work and how we can involve maybe the private sector in supporting us with incentives to get particularly young people out. Now, either of you have any knowledge or experience that you can share with us about whether or not incentives work? First, Dr. Adams, what do you think?
Well, thank you so much. And actually, I would direct the question to Dr. Milkman because she wrote the book on this. She is the expert on
Oh,
this.
she did?
But yes, she is, and
Okay.
she's on, and she is the expert on the panel on incentives. But what I would say to you very quickly is you need to have the right incentive for the right audience.
I hope this doesn't take too long. I'm double parked.
Next.
Oh, it's an arm one? Your cousin from Boston. We're back, baby! Sam's on me! Indoor beers! Indoor beers! Did I get the shot?
Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to talking smack with a side of mac and cheese. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions. Should I get it? Is it safe?
Should I wait?
It's smart to question. Now, get the facts at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you.
And a blanket incentive isn't going to work for every population because it's not going to address the concerns that particular populations have. So African Americans may respond to different incentives than Hispanics and Latinos, than rural communities. But again, I'll throw it to the expert who is here, Dr. Milkman.
There's really no understanding of our American political culture without race at the center of it.
And in 1981, just before Reagan assumed the presidency, his campaign strategist Lee Atwater was caught on tape explaining the Southern strategy.
In other words, you start out, now y'all aren't quoting me. All right, I won't do it. You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts your backfire. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now, you're talking about cutting taxes, and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than white.
Sure. No, the evidence that incentives work is building. We have decades of evidence that they work for changing health behaviors. In other contexts, of course, we only have a little bit of evidence to date on how well they're working for COVID-19 vaccinations. But as I mentioned earlier, the Ohio Vaximillion data is already looking very promising. There was a 28% increase in vaccinations in the week following the announcement of that, and we believe that in the 2 weeks following, there were an extra 50 to 80,000 vaccinations given. Now, you asked a question about particular communities and do they work differently in different communities, and I wish we knew more about that. One thing that we're pioneering in Philadelphia, where I co-designed the Philadelphia Vax Sweepstakes, is a kind of lottery incentive that's actually focused on communities where there are low vaccination rates. So we are running a citywide sweepstakes, but we are giving half of the prizes in each round, in each drawing, to a particular zip code that's under vaccinated. And I think we should be doing more to target those under-vaccinated communities. A nice thing about lottery incentives is that they draw tremendous media attention. We think that's part of why they're so effective. People get very excited. There's vivid stories, which is important. We just talked about the importance of stories. You have vivid stories now to hear about. And so I strongly encourage more communities to think about doing localized incentive programs.
But of course, I was at the BET Awards this past weekend, and I was looking at Lil Baby and Rhapsody and these rappers and how thrilled young people were with them, young people that they have around the stages screaming. What about that?
You finna online date chat, find a mate chat, open up the okay ass, okay yeah, profile picture looking tight chat, nice chat, got your bio reading right chat, precise chat, but before you find a date chat, you gotta wait chat, gotta go back to Nate chat, get it straight chat. Girl, you look good, want you vax that thing up. You's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up. Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good, want you vax that thing up. You's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up. Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up.
I know you can't stand it, no holding hands, chick. But when we get the shot, we gon' be romancing. Girl, you could be the queen after quarantine. We could meet up at the spot and we could do the thing. Internet date chat, I'm your mate chat. Download the app, shorty, you ain't gotta wait chat. I love it when you hold me, eggplant emoji. You could be the young hot thing, I'll be the OG.
Girl, you look good, want you vax that thing up. You's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up. Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good, want you vax that thing up. You's a decent looking brother, want you vax that thing up. Acting foolishly, you need to vax that thing up. Herd immunity, you need to vax that thing up.
You think they could be helpful in, helping us to get certain groups of people out? What do you think, Dr. Benjamin?
We did it through it, when I was here in DC as a health officer, we used lay barbers and others to educate the community about a range of health threats, and we believe this will be effective. The dean at the University of in New Orleans at Tulane also has a barber program, a community program. It turns out it works.
I have all walks of life that come and sit in my chair, and I love connecting with them. Clients share their opinion with me, and it's like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. That's what people's minds were at, but you just want to make sure that what you're talking about is legit. When there is a disagreement, that excites me. I like there to be some flavor.
That's what I think. Well, thank you so very much. Like I said, I know we've all been preaching and talking, so we got to be creative. We got to come up with some new ways by which to do it. Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you all.
Dude, what? How? How? Are there this many of you right now? You guys are unreal.
I was telling y'all, man, these politicians, these black politicians or whatever, advocating, putting some in our bodies that is, an abomination, man. People don't even know what's in this stuff. It's killing some people. It's, causing all kind of problems, and it's people advocating or trying to entice people to take this stuff, man. Our own people. Black people in high positions given to them by Caucasians, and the price they pay for that high position is they got to do stuff like this. Well, one of the prices they pay. I'm sure there's probably more, and these are the kind of people we got that we got to watch these kind of people as well. We think it's all about, black and white, but no, it's black and black, brown and black, yellow and black. Everybody is against us. Let's not even our own. So, when we know this, right? Now, mind you, most of these people, the majority of these people are not quote unquote, woke, quote unquote Torah keepers. These are people that are given to their own vain delusions, right? They in the whatever, they in the masonry, they in the witchcraft, they in the atheism, polytheism, whatever they into, whatever kind of mind it take to be advocating to do some of the stuff they trying to get us to do. These are the kind of people that is. So when we know that, we need to be more apt, more likely to get around people that at least got a mind to do right. People that at least want to live right. People that want to live for the Most High. People that want to be righteous. Whether it be Islam or even Christians or whatever, man. Anybody that just want to be right. Let's not trip off of what they think that right is, as long as it don't involve no real wickedness, man. As long as it don't involve, because you about to find out, these people want our kids, man. These people want to molest our children. These people want our children sleeping together. They about to start educating children in schools, which many schools already doing this, to masturbate, to have anal sex, to have oral sex, and having teachers asking your children how they feel about this kind of stuff and all this stuff. Man, this is getting wicked, man. I'm going to show you the video, but as you're watching this video, I want you to think about the fact of, it is our differences in the awakening, is it really that deep that we can't come together to separate ourselves from this system? To have our own schools, to have our own hospitals, to have our own legal teams, to have our own, police force, to have our own everything. Is our differences that bad that you'd rather deal with this?
To America's favorite game show. Welcome to America's favorite game show. Who wants to be a pedophile?
This is definitely an attack. It will affect your child rearing. It will affect your education system.
This is instructions for the teacher in the classroom to ask her or his students, how do people express their sexual feelings? What is abstinence? And here are some answers. Oral sex, masturbation, anal sex, massage, holding hands, touching each other's genitals, saying, I like you. And what they're doing is equating all these things. Saying, I like you is equal to anal sex.
It is pornography. Men, especially on the House floor, did not want to look at. We couldn't show this on the television news, but yet we want our 4th grade children to be looking at this book.
In the name of sexuality education, children are seeing obscene materials that have been ruled by Congress and by the Supreme Court impossible to show to children.
An online CSE program for African youth called The World Starts With Me tells children that sexuality includes oral sex and masturbation. It then tells them it's their own choice if they want to lose their virginity. It shows children pictures of naked girls and boys in various stages of development, and then asks them to point out differences in their private parts. Parents likely will never know, as it is all done online away from home.
So this new bill that was passed, you see it? The Senate bill 5395, this is a pedophile bill. This bill would teach children from K to 12 sex education. So they will be teaching kids how to masturbate, about watching porn, about all of these things. Look up this bill if you have children, if you have nieces and nephews that's in school. Look this up. I'm not lying. This is the sex education. If you look up there, it says sex education curriculum. This is the curriculum they're going to be going by. I put in kindergarten. Look at what it says, lesson plan with Amaze video. Now I'm going to show you what Amaze video is. These are the Amaze videos. Should I feel bad about watching porn? Is it normal to watch porn? What is transgender?
Yes, come on, yes, oh yes. Aha! What are you doing there? You've had enough for one day. You'll go blind. I'm coming!
How many times is too many to masturbate in one day?
Wow, this is so hard.
What? No, it's not.
I hate multiple choice.
I wish I had a choice. This just happens. Ew, that felt hard enough to break. Wait. If it's called a boner, can I break it?
Today's the day? Nope, same size. Guess it's never gonna grow.
Up, soldier!
Huh? Who said that?
Sergeant Boxer Shorts is my name, and talking about penises is my mission.
All of these things. They even teach masturbation. Masturbation to kindergartners.
This was an email that was sent from my child's school this year. A urgent family life, human sexuality lesson. My child was online schooling at the time, so instead of letting me know what the lesson would consist of while she was with me, like cowards they are, said the lessons would only be taught in person. So if I wanted her to learn perversion, I would have to risk COVID and send her sitting in masks all day to let them teach her Satan's sexuality and new gender norms.
So I'm sure by now that you have all heard about this cartoon that a first grade teacher showed her students, essentially supporting childhood masturbation. Guys, it gets so much worse and it's so much deeper than you would think. And on a side note, I just want to mention that in most countries and cities, they are implementing childhood masturbation as part of early childhood learning in the curriculum in the schools, just so you're aware. Look into it. So let's get into some symbolism because we know how much the pedophilic elites love to use symbolism. Right off the bat, I want to show you guys the star on the little boy's t-shirt. Of course, they had to put the pentagram in there. The swirl in the girl's hair is a pedophilia symbol. Take note of these symbols. The lightning bolt that represents Satan, the pizza representing pedophilia, and then again the pedophilia symbol. The elites speak through symbolism. This has been part of the plan all along. Stop sexualizing kids.
This is why the government created QAnon, to turn up the volume on child pornography, satanic panic, satanic ritual abuse, child sex trafficking, and perversion, and funnel it into quote-unquote crazy white suburbia nonsense, desensitizing you to it so they can slide these laws in on you on mute.
Thanks. Arizona lawmakers have approved controversial changes to sex education laws that would make them some of the strictest in the country when it comes to teaching about the LGBTQ community. Yesterday, the House passed SB 1456, requiring schools to get parental permission for discussions about gender identity and sexual orientation.
That should be the end of the story, right? Give parents the right to say, no, I don't want my child to learn that. But no one victimizes like the alphabet sex community.
Governor Ducey was inside the Heard Museum signing another bill, but on the outside, a collective call for him to veto Senate Bill 1456.
This bill will harm my children.
Republicans framing the bill as a parental rights issue, requiring schools to get parents' permission for discussions about sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. In a statement, the bill's primary sponsor, Senator Nancy Barto, tells 12 News in part, SB 1456 protects a parent's right to decide when their child is ready and what their child is exposed to regarding sexual materials at school, and is inclusive of all students.
Everyone has a gender identity. Everyone has a gender expression.
Advocates say the bill is a wolf in sheep's clothing, essentially erasing chapters of American history, like a 1969 New York City bar raid, often seen as the birthplace of America's gay rights movement.
This bill would require parental approval of curriculum for historical events like the Stonewall Rebellion.
They'll skip the AIDS epidemic, and go right to the one and only go-to for struggle to have sex with the same gender, a bar riot. And this is for you gay and lesbian people of color. You think they aren't using you like a rented rainbow mule? Think again. Everyone knows Marsha P. Johnson was a front during the Stonewall riots, but German Jewish Roland Emmerich came through with his creative adaptation, whitewashing the existence of Marsha P. Johnson and cleverly equating the civil rights struggle with the urge to give each other rectal trauma.
The nation was founded on a bedrock principle that we are all created equal.
Seneca Falls, Selma, and Stonewall.
Ordinary people can do extraordinary things.
I already got you all figured out. Grew up in Kansas, and Mama probably baked apple pies. Yo, everybody, this is Danny. Danny, welcome to New York. Don't use your real name. It was run by the mob.
We're an organization that fights for gay rights.
We can't love you. That's not the way, Danny. It's the only way.
Hey, so we're having a parade to commemorate the fighting, and they're going to call it the Gay Liberation March.
I'm coming.
Just like they whitewashed the Bible, don't think they'll stop at Sodom and Gomorrah. And Martin Luther King will cease being our quote-unquote civil rights leader, and ultimately, through the exposure of those MLK FBI tapes and who he had around him, will be the hero for gay, trans, pedo rights, as they intended. Don't be shocked. They will. Just like the Wachowski brothers said Matrix was a trans metaphor after turning trans themselves, but they stole the entire premise of that movie from Sophia Stewart, and she goes in real detail what her script was actually about. And winning copyrights not only for Matrix, but Terminator 2. These people have a pathetic bloodline that if they can't create, they'll assimilate and steal. And you people of color haven't learned your power in keeping your mouth shut and going to Yah, so you don't look like Tanya Burke, who founded the Me Too, and only for it to look like this now.
State Superintendent Kathy Hoffman and the Arizona School Board Association also calling for Ducey's veto. They say the new bill is an overreach, and Arizona already has existing law for parents to opt out of sexual education curriculums.
Really disadvantages Arizona students as it prevents them from learning the valuable information that all students should know.
Valuable information? They are going to dig around in the histories, and all roads will lead to Roman Greece, where emperors like Elagabalus' short reign was marred by a born male teenager wanting to be a woman and demanded his lovers to be castrated. And it's not just him. Roman Greece and their disgusting, unrighteous bloodlines that run hot in America were pedophiles. You're seeing the manifestation of their seeds' grip on society.
So this mandates, for example, the teaching of LGBT people as heroic historical characters in history class. Some of them actually homosexuals or transgender. Harvey Milk, for example, is one of the big heroes they build up, the first openly homosexual elected official in America. Also happened to be a child rapist who raped children, some of whom these boys went on to go commit suicide later.
I mean, why be surprised, right? They have never been the children of righteousness. But if you recall Kay Pollard Griggs, she admits this behavior is sought out by the United States military. He even has his own terminal in the San Francisco airport with the pentagram right next to it. Oops, my bad, the Star of David, that has the cube of Saturn, which is another way of worshiping Satan, that they have trans right parent puppet Dwayne Wade hosting a worship of what?
Start the game. And then they just go back retroactively and just declare that certain people must have been homosexual because they didn't get married, or because there's no evidence that they were attracted to women, and so they must have been homosexual.
They're giving them handouts, negotiating sexual encounters with other students. For example,
There are statements like this. Can I take your shirt off? It makes me hot when you touch me here. Is it okay if I take my pants off?
Where we in Latin America, we still have a lot of poverty. We have communities that don't have fresh water, that don't have electricity. Focus is completely shifted from basic needs. They get comprehensive sexual education without the consent of parents, taking and deconstructing the family.
My brother Luigi and I had an opportunity to go to the United Nations and give a speech on the UN floor. I told them how Planned Parenthood was passing out a booklet for HIV positive youth at the United Nations called Healthy, Happy, and Hot. This is for the kids who have AIDS. It teaches about sexual pleasure through masturbation with same-sex partners and even if you are drunk.
The bottom. If you want to have sex and you think you might get drunk or high, plan ahead.
This pamphlet called Healthy, Happy, and Hot tells young people that you have the right not to disclose your HIV status to a sexual partner if you're not comfortable. It also tells young people that are HIV positive that if they decide with their partner not to wear a condom, that's their decision. The World Health Organization standards for sexuality education in Europe actually suggest that children ages 0 to 4 should be given information about masturbation and given the right to explore their gender identity. For ages 4 to 6, children should be taught about same-sex relationships and respect for different norms regarding sexuality.
Sexual rights, sexual education movements began with Dr. Alfred C. Kinsey. Kinsey actually had pedophiles measure with a stopwatch how many children could achieve what he called orgasms within a 24-hour period. Today, comprehensive sexuality education is based on this philosophy that children are sexual from birth, created by Kinsey.
Answer me why you're teaching pedophilia in school to ninth graders. Teaching what? Pedophilia, pederasty, right here.
I've explained to you that this is done because we are talking about historical perspectives of how gender relations and different types of sexual orientations have existed in history.
This has been in the works for a while now. Jeffrey Epstein was preying on children at what school? Dalton in New York. When a headmaster, Gardner Dunham, repeatedly sexually assaulted a female student in the 80s, what school did he prey in? Dalton in New York. When Justine Ang Fong wanted to teach porn literacy classes to first graders, got fired, now defends her stance. What school was it? Dalton in New York. If you want my advice, stop putting respect on Masonic public school education. They're not teaching your kids life essentials. Next, you can say, oh no, how can people want to have sex with animals? Trust me, zoophilia is going to be the bottom line to all this. Only 3 years ago, we weren't talking about children being taught pornography as first graders. We're not talking about that 3 years from now. We're talking about it now. So just imagine the next 3 or 4 years when they get tired of that, when they eventually get tired of your children. They want to go to animals. Have you seen how people act with dogs lately? We're heading there.
Well, did you see that one? This is what I'm talking about, man. When there's stuff like that going on, we really ain't got no right to be arguing amongst each other about anything. Why would we argue amongst each other when we see such a unified effort to come after our children? I ask you this. What is your group, your assembly? What are their plans to try to deal with that? Are you with a group of Israelites and y'all send y'all children to public schools? What is your group? I'm just not to bash your group. What I'm saying is that we got to change our thinking. We got to stop thinking about just us. our little group, our little city, what we got going on, and start thinking as a nation of Negro people and about the fact that there is a real threat, a plan to wipe us out. True enough, they might not get us as adults, but if they sleeping with our kids, if they teaching our kids perversion, then what kind of grandkids, what kind of great-great-grandkids are we going to have, if we even have any? What if they scheme work to turn our sons homosexual, turn our daughters homosexual? What if their plan works? Then at some point, our race would die off or be in danger of dying off. So this is what I'm saying, man. We need to stop just arguing. You know, let a person believe what they believe, man. But let's be about securing our future. However much of a future we might have left. We like to think that, you know, that the kingdom's about to change hands and Hamashiach's coming back and all that, right? They've been thinking he was coming back since he left, people. It's been a couple thousand years since then. So, you know, whenever he come back, it's going to be right on time. Whenever we get to go into the land, it's going to be right on time. But we can't live as if and plan as if it's going to be forever from now. I mean, you know, that it's going to be soon. We don't know if it's going to be soon. So let's stop arguing. Let's stop the bickering. Stop trying to put our views on each other. And let's see what we can do to help each other, to prosper. And then maybe, shout out to Elder Shalim, man. He said, man, you want to know when I want to argue? He said, after we done did all we could do and we done made all the money we could make. He said, I want to sit with you in the front yard over some tea or something and argue about who gonna get to buy our grandbabies a car. No, I'm gonna buy them a car. No, I'm gonna buy them a car. No, I'm gonna buy them a car. Let's argue about stuff like that. Let's not argue over doctrine. Tell you, man, this happened at the fall of Jerusalem. When the Romans was outside the gates, we was inside fighting. Let me say this again. If you go and read the book of Josephus about when Israel when it failed in 70 AD to the Romans, it was different groups inside of Israel. One believed this, one believed that, one did this, one did that. And while Rome was outside, unified, the Romans, the Ishmaelites, the damn Edomites, everybody outside together, unified for our mutual destruction, the same way they are now, unified for our mutual destruction. We was inside fighting each other. How long we gonna be giving between two opinions, man? How long? We gotta change, man. We gotta do something different, man. Those of us that have an ear to hear. Now, I know everybody ain't gonna do. I know. Please don't come to me with that about what everybody ain't gonna do. Okay, quit telling me about everybody. What you gonna do? You the one that's concerned with what everybody else gonna do. What are you going to do? Be a part of a unified effort. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When they come for blood, they ain't gonna give a damn what camp you with, unless you with the ones that's selling out. You say, well, I'd rather just die. God got me. Okay, well, what if you could do something different? Why would Hamashiach say, when you see Israel compassed about with his enemies, flee to the mountains? What if they said, well, God got me? He gave them warning. He gave them instructions on what to do. You know what we've been told to do? Gather yourselves together, O undesirable nation. That's what we've been told to do. Yeah, but what's up, man? Where y'all at? I'm gonna pull up on you. Anyway, think about what I said, man. 12 tribes, one nation. Hallelujah. I was doing the live. I was closing it out. I was closing out my live, B.